And how about Dave Reef? He has Dell Worsham. Is he okay now, Dave?
Absolutely. Dell is very fine, and all the viewers that watched ESPN3 last night, our qualifying coverage, saw the same thing that we did. A very candid Dell Worsham, a very candid teammate, Larry Dixon, talking about the pain that Larry felt for Dell. And I know Mike Dunn, as a former racer yourself, you know that pain as well. So, Dell, when you think about the Top Fuel final and what happened, the quickest run that came up just short against Spencer Massey, what has those 2 weeks done to that memory for you?
Well, the first thing I tell you is it took probably it took basically getting back to the races right now to really feel like I was over, or not even so much over, but I felt like things were kind of okay right now. Got back in the car, made a run, and I'm glad I did that. You know, I kind of felt a little peaceful with myself at that point.
And in the interest of fair reporting, I can say you've also won 2 races this year on whole shots. In fact, you look over your entire career, 805 rounds of racing, only 2.3% of your races. 19 times have you ever been in this position before, so it doesn't happen very much. But you talked also last night about what did happen heading into the stage beams. Can you relive some of that?
Yeah, I can. You know, the first thing, after it all happened, it all took place, and I got done, you know, pouting a little bit at the finish line. I just started thinking, you know, as I was flying home, you know, and during the week, you know, what went wrong? What did I do to put myself in this position? Yeah. And even racing 21 years, you know, and the experience I've had and the things I've done, it didn't prepare me for what took place. And what really led up to it, the biggest thing that led up to it was that I really wanted the record.
Yeah.
I wanted the record bad, and I thought Spencer was going to run the record also. I honestly thought he would run a 374, and we would run a 374 right there, and you know, and it was going to be close. And so I'm really taking my time. You know, I'm trying to get the car staged very shallow and make sure that I'm not giving anything away on the starting line that way. So now I'm already thinking not about reaction times, I'm thinking about staging. Yeah. I also, you know, I wanted to stage first, and it's not a big deal, but it seems that every time I race Spencer Massey, if I let him stage first, he just welds me, you know. So I thought, you know, no matter what, I'm going to get stage first. Well, he did the best thing he could do. Once I rushed in there, he let me sit for a second, which I would have done to him also. So he did a great job there. And the third thing was, I sat there so long, and it was 52 degrees outside, my visor started fogging up on me. So now I have a visor fogging. I've rushed myself. And I've thought about trying to stage properly, and you know what I should have done is just went up and tried to win the race.
You also talked last night about a very interesting plane ride home. You had to go with your owner, Alan Johnson, back out to California. Alan's been doing it a long time. We were just talking. Was there even much conversation? Did anything even have to be said about the situation?
We spoke a little bit about it on the car ride to the airport, and once we got on the airplane, basically, you know, we talked about the great run and how fast it was, and you know, if or when and if it'll ever even be broken, you know, there's no telling with rule changes and things that are going to come along over the next few years if that'll even, I mean, that could go down possibly as one of the fastest runs and maybe the quickest run ever. So we spoke about that, and no, I mean, we talked about blower cases. We had John Rodak with us.
Normal stuff.
John Rodak's a great guy, and we talked machinery with him, and that's about it.
You mentioned also, and it was a very funny moment, probably the funniest thing I've ever heard you say, 6 beers certainly made you feel better. If I know Alan Johnson right, let me guess, it was Pacifico, correct?
It was Pacifico, and it was, after 6 I felt better. I bet the next 6 made me feel even a little bit better.
But you also pointed out you have a beautiful wife, great kids, life is great, and it's that kind of perspective that's allowing you to get over this. At what point over the last 2 weeks did the focus shift and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, it does happen. It is drag racing, and I do have all these good things going for me.
A couple days into it, you know, I got home for a couple days, and again, you know, everybody's talking about it, and my friends are all calling me up, and finally, you know, after about 2 or 3 days, I'm in the shop, and I'm working with my dad, and I could just feel kind of I felt at ease a little bit, and I started thinking about, you know, here I'm working with my dad again, and I'm going home, and I'm seeing my wife and my kids, and everybody's healthy, and, you know, I thought, you know, what it is, it's a drag race, and it's my job, and I love it, but you know, it's not the end of the world.
Exactly, and that's about the best way to put it. Dell, thank you so much for being so candid once again. And hey, Paul and Mike, you think he's at all interested in watching to see what's going to happen to the point leader coming up in this session?
Oh, I'm guessing he was going to have some
just a little, some interest.